Good morning, I'm Nivareti Manu, and this is your morning news fix for Tuesday, 9th of June. In this update, major swells are forecast for Wellington's south coast. A state of emergency is in effect for the western and eastern city wards, with Met Service warning swells will peak by late morning. There's a mandatory evacuation order in effect at 9 a.m. for waterfront residents between Orfedo and Breaker Bays. An emergency assistance centre is open at Wellington South Baptist Church. Civil Defence Controller Phil Becker says whether residents can return to their homes tomorrow will depend on how damaged roads are, as the waves could undermine sea walls. Labour leader Chris Hipkins says new candidate Rakesh Naidu won't immediately join the party's campaign trail. Commissioner Richard Chambers says Naidu's candidacy makes his role as a senior officer untenable and he'll be removed. He says he only found out Naidu's plans on Sunday night. Hipkins says he understands Naidu was in conversations with the Commissioner earlier about transitioning from a politically neutral cop to a candidate. He says he's confident in Naidu's integrity. Federated Farmers says a National Party pledge to power up private conservation efforts could massively boost the country's biodiversity. It's pledging to double baseline funding for the QE2 National Trust to $8.5 million. Fed Farmers President Wayne Langford says currently covenant agreements on pockets of private land make up the equivalent of New Zealand's fourth largest protected area. He says farmers will close off part of their land to allow it to return to its natural state, including wetlands and native bush. Iran and Israel are pausing attacks, but the threat of more violence lingers. The two started exchanging fire in the worst escalation since early April, after Israel broke a truce with Lebanon and struck Beirut. US President Donald Trump's now ordering Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to rein it in. Israel's insisting it will continue going after Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. Aucklanders are getting a clearer view of their new housing density plan. Auckland Council's Planning Committee will decide today what option to take to iwi and local boards for consultation. The government's reduced the minimum housing capacity to 1.4 million. Scenario A meets government mandates, while B keeps intensification around smaller centres, only reducing public transport zones to an allowance of 6 stories in outer lying areas. Scenario C allows for taller buildings in those areas, rezoning a wider area based on public transport access, and Scenario D remains the same as the initial disputed density plan. In sport, Captain Ben Stokes and pace bowler Gus Atkinson are being investigated by the England Cricket Board over a nightclub incident following the first test win over the Black Caps. The country's cricket regulator has been informed. Roosters outside back Mark Nawanganitawaze has been called into the New South Wales camp and is expected to make his debut in State of Origin Game 2. Denmark footballer Christian Eriksen has been released from hospital after spending the night under observation following his latest collapse in an abandoned friendly with Ukraine. I'm Nivareti Manu, and that's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at midday from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.